Hey guys, what's up? It is Jaxie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your rails as fast as possible. The two different alternative ways of placing them, which you can see behind me here compared to the normal one. So let's have a look at them. Now I have done a tutorial on this, but this tutorial here is going more in depth because it is quite confusing, especially when building these rails in multiple different directions, because there are two different methods you need to use. Let's start off by getting a base by hopping on the regular powered rail and seeing how fast it goes. So we've got a little bit of speed here, nothing incredible. Now there are two different levels here. This first one here is a little bit easier to build, takes up less time but uses more powered rails and isn't as fast, but it is still pretty fast and faster than regular powered rails. You can see you get a lot more speed. Then we have this one over here, which is the fastest but does take up a bit more time to build and place down and a bit more iron. You can see that is incredibly fast. You just zip to the end there. Now all of these rails are one way, keep that in mind, except for the basic powered rail. So if you build one going this way, you're gonna have to build another one going back. So this one here, the pros of this are that you don't have to add any booster rails and it's a bit easier to build, so you can place it down faster. But this one over here is much faster when traveling, and it doesn't use as many powered rails. However, it does use more regular rails, so the cost of iron is a bit more. But if you've got a great iron farm, like the ones I've done on my channel, you shouldn't need to worry about that at all. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to build both of these, so let's get on to building this blue first rail here, the powered rail one. Okay, so for this first one, we're going to need powered rails, and redstone torches or levers or something to power your rails with. We're going to start at the end of our rail line, place a powered rail, then a rail going like this. Now we're going to do this right to the very end, but right to the start if we're starting on the end. Just like this. Now you're going to need to start with a powered rail. You can't start with a turn like this. So start with a powered rail or two. Then go ahead and break these rails here that are sticking out and add in a redstone torch or some sort of power source on the side of the powered rails like this. Just like that. Now if I grab a minecart out, you can see we've got a functioning Speedy Railway. Now we're going to move on to this system here. We need powered rails, and specifically levers. We can't use anything else. We're going to start by placing in a few powered rails at the start like this, and then a few powered rails at the end, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead, just temporarily break this one, create a circle, then add that rail back in. Now we're going to create circles going like this. Of rails. They should all be connecting like this. Now you may need to break this powered rail here temporarily, then you can place it back. And this is what it should look like. Now on each one of these circles, we want to break the bottom left corner except for the one at the start. So break that, break that, break that, break that, break that, and break that. This is what it should look like. Now we have the tricky job of deciding which pattern we're going to have to follow. So there are two main patterns. There is the pattern that requires all the levers to stay on there and stay placed under, because we're going to be placing some levers under here. And then there's the pattern that doesn't need that. So this one over here is following pattern 2, where we don't actually need the levers under here at all. And you can see simply we've got this working. But this pattern over here, we're going to have to follow. Pattern 1, we'll need to leave the levers under there. So on the axes west, because we're facing west here, and north, we're going to have to leave the levers under here and follow pattern 1. But on south and east, we don't have to leave the levers under there at all. So pattern 1, all we have to do for this is place a lever here, flick it on and then off, and you can see that this connects like so. Now a way to check with which pattern you're using is that if this lever is off, the first lever that you do, if you have to leave it off to connect to this, and if it's on, it's like this. If it's off and it's connected, you're gonna have to use pattern 1. But if it is on, let's go over here to this one over here, if we go here and it is on and it is connected, then we're going to be using pattern 2. Our lever is off and this rail is connected, so that means we're using pattern 1. So pattern 1, all we have to do is place a lever, flick it on, place a rail, place another lever, flick it on, like this. Then we have to place a lever, flick it on, place a rail, flick another lever on. And we just have to repeat that. Now for our second pattern, if our lever is like this and turned on and the rails are connected, we are going to flick a lever, place a lever, flick it on and off, then place a rail, flick a lever, place a lever, flick it on and off. So it's the exact same as pattern 1, except we're flicking the lever on and then off. And then you can go ahead and break these levers once you're finished doing all of them. So lever on, off, rail, lever on, off, like that. Lever on, off, rail, lever on, off. And once you finish this pattern, because it is pattern 2, we can go ahead and break these levers. Now, it is your choice whether you want to keep this lever at the start. You don't necessarily have to have it. You can place a lever here and flick that on, then break this. But we are going to have a little bit of a broken thing here if we want to do this. We're going to have to connect these rails like this up and just have them going straight like that. But if you do leave that lever there, you don't have to worry about this at all. So now you guys know how to build 2 extra fast rail systems, and you guys get to choose which one works best for you. So on that note, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and remember to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys later. And remember, stay carbonated.